See, I was made in my Father's image, and they belittle my deeds. Their lustful convictions pledge allegiance to the almighty power and greed. See, seeds born withered, parents steer children adolescent to their ways. Some preachers, false prophets, educated pigeon droppers using our sins to get paid. Slaves. Give them freedom, but give them dope. Take away their leaders, cause that gives them hope. Sell them dreams of changing things like they were never kings and queens before. As small as a giant. As small as a giant.
Two of the worst times on earth, I'll take that back. Two of the worst times in the United States is 9 and 5, when people are going to work and coming back from work unless you're nocturnal. Why? Because now you're hitting the highways and you do terrible things. You're either riding in a conveyance, electrical discharge, or you're driving in a road, a taxi, over-the-road rig or something like that, and you have to do two terrible things. You get in the car and you turn on the ignition, and the trouble starts. You turn on the ignition and you've got an AC there called an accelerator, alternating current again. And that accelerator, coupled again with the alternator, gives you a mixed AC, which causes automatically a low frequency, which can be problems to you. Especially since the car is supposed to be made and the chassis made of metal. With the new side impact laws, you have to have stress weldings to withstand the impact of so many poundage. So now, if it wasn't before riveted, it's now solid welds, which means the seat that you're sitting on is welded to the chassis that you're riding on, which already is receiving alternating current, which is a low vibration. But now you have global positioning satellites. It's so fun. Tell you where you're going to go before you get there. It speaks to you and says nicely, if you go down a mile, you come off and then you exit here. And yes, sir, you'll have it. Well, this daggone satellite is now reading through an overhead satellite, which is not only charting you, it's giving you rays that you can't see in the metal of your car. In addition to which, you might even have the nerve to turn on a cell phone. I know you have to sneak and do it because most of the time you get a ticket if you do it. So you get real smart. You put on a Bluetooth and it blinks up and lets you know, I'm a fool, I'm a fool. No, I mean, that's not what it says. It says, I'm contacting it. I'm contacting it. I got on a cell phone. I got a Bluetooth. They just had a convention in Las Vegas in which all the electronic firms from around the world were there competing and showing what their latest scientific advances were. Out of that came the new Blackjack and the new BlackBerry. Samsung put out your Blackjack and BlackBerry, I forget the other company, but anyway, it's not important. They have now found out, check me out. I always want you to research me because then you appreciate me more, and hopefully, again, some of the other things in, you might even give it a chance to see if it sinks in and if I'm really telling you the truth or not. A milligauss is a unit of measurement by which they gather the Gauss of a magnetic field or the electrical output, simply meaning this. 2 milligauss is as much as the human body can take. When you go to the 3rd milligauss, you can get in trouble. Radiation poisoning, glands, organs, blood, brain, anything else. Both the BlackBerry and the Blackjack radiate 100 milligauss. How many didn't hear what I just said? 100 milligauss. That's only 98 times more than your body could take, and people are calling themselves getting a smartphone for dummies. That's the dumbest move you can make, to get a smartphone radiating you 98 times over what your body can handle. You're going to see people not only stressed, you're going to see people driving crazy through the streets. They're going to start dropping down, arguments. They're going to shoot each other. You haven't seen any death yet. Wait till the heat hits. This is insane. Absolutely, abhorrently insane. I don't know of no other way to call it. It's idiocy. Unless somebody doesn't want you alive, or wants you sick, or wants you under control. When you're in that car and you put in the Bluetooth, turn on the radio if you got one in there. If you got one, you ought to have another. If you got enough money for one, you ought to be able to afford the other ones. When you got it on AM or FM, it goes by, you hear, you just got radiated. You'll even hear what is being said in another car. Those waves have now entered into your eardrum, your tympanic nerve, registered on the optic thalamus nerve, and you're hearing and seeing the same thing because they work hand in glove. That's why they have eye, ear, nose, and throat. There's all that one cavity with the tubes that connect it. When you pick up that sound, you got radiated. And if you drive a car for 6 months, every time you get in your car, whether you turn on anything or not, you're getting radiated because the metal is contaminated with radiation. And there's something called a Faraday cage. That's what you're now driving in, because when the wheels turn, there is no ground. And you have a canopy above you and around you in a cage that is full of electromagnetic vibrations on a low scale, which is electrical low frequencies, which means now you're frying yourself just like a microwave oven. And if you eat food from a microwave oven, please buy a diode before you leave tonight. Let me explain the principle of a microwave oven. It works on a Klystron tube, which is a vibratory sound emission light machine, and it gives out water that's heated. The reason why the plate is cold and the food is hot is because the food has moisture, and the moisture is now heated with radiation, and you eat it as heat. And you're eating pure, raw radiation every time you take it hot. How long do you think you can do that before your body pays? Not long at all. And most of your bodies are already paying because you are eating it to go along, as we said, with the bad water, with the bad air, with genetically modified food, the chemtrails. And then you go and you get a shot. Not a booze, a vaccine, an inoculation. You haven't gone through enough hell. Now you got to go get pus stuck in underneath your skin so you won't get pus. Huh? That didn't come out right. I know I didn't say that, did I? You go get pus so you won't get pus. What's wrong with that statement? Let's see. Pus came from Louis Pasteur, who said malicious attacking organisms are afoot in the cows and things in France and in the cattle in France, and that to offset it, you must take the pus from them who set up antibodies and serums, put it into your vein so you can teach your body how to act like an animal so you won't get what the animals had. That's smart. That's real thinking. Oh, man, I mean, who can think like that? Yet you say you're not a dumb animal and you're smarter than the animals. That's why you're bipedal and have a brain. Well, think about what you're doing and think about what they're telling you. They're telling you that the Creator, or if you don't believe in the Creator, whoever you want to worship, something that made you, is so dumb that he will take a dumb animal and give it powers that you don't have, yet you're supposed to be dominate everything on the planet. I can't understand that logic. Maybe you can, and when you do, you explain it to me because I haven't learned it yet. I have problems with that. I have problems with anything that doesn't make sense because I'm not a sheeple. I'm not a sheep. I'm a thinking God-man trying to find his Creator and tired of human telling me how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, and how to do it.